We went from what I would describe as unprecedented to a point where I don't have the correct adjective to describe what's going on.
All right, a Border Patrol chief who was able to speak and state his mind, as were others, this day on Capitol Hill. Gonzalez, the Texas Democratic congressman, couldn't make the meeting today because he has been looking at the same surge and dealing with it at the border for many, many days and months and years. Joins you right now. They were able to speak their mind, Congressman. What do you think will come of it?
Well, I think that's good. I think Border Patrol chiefs should have the right to tell Congress what they're seeing on the ground.
And what are you seeing on the ground lately? Any improvement?
Well, in my region of the border, we have very low rates of crossing. It seems the surge has seemed to have moved to another part of the border. Clearly, it's an issue that we've been dealing with for many, many years under Democratic and Republican administrations. The problem is that we have an asylum system that's broken. It's antiquated. We need new ideas, and everyone wants to complain. We have Democrats come down when Trump was in office and point fingers at the president. We have now Republicans going down to the border pointing fingers at President Biden, but nobody's coming up with proposals. I've come up with the Safe Zone Act, which actually creates a processing system that we have on our border 1,500 miles south of us in Guatemala and other countries where people can process at that juncture. And if we're going to let them in under the credible fear standard, which we use now, which I believe is a low standard, then we should let them in at that juncture. It does two things. It takes the pressure off our southern border and allows Border Patrol and law enforcement to do what they're supposed to be doing. And it also takes the cartel equation out of it. Just last year, we calculated cartels had made over $5 billion trafficking migrants to our southern border. So let's come up with common sense, bipartisan solutions instead of finger pointing. What's happening on our southern border?
Has the administration been intrigued by your idea, Congressman? Has it supported it?
Well, they have my idea. Right now I have support on both sides of the aisle with this. But what I was going to say is this is not a Democratic or Republican problem. This is an American problem, and it won't be solved until Americans from both sides of the aisle get together and see it for what it is. It's an American problem that deserves the attention of both sides of the aisle.
No, this is a very good idea. You and I have discussed it. It deals with the problem at the root of the problem at the southern border of Mexico. Having said all of that, though, I'm surprised. While you did get bipartisan support, not nearly the amount that I would imagine, and I'm just wondering why that is.
Well, because there's political interests on both sides that like to keep the status quo as what it is. And we have great immigration bills and great proposals, and you'll find Democrats and Republicans on both sides be against it just to be against it. Yeah. And it's unfortunate. We've allowed government to be hijacked by a sliver on both sides of the aisle, and it's unfortunate for the American people. I'm a centrist, a middle-of-the-road Democrat. I wish we didn't have to wear a D on our lapel and we just wore an A for Americans, but we are where we are, and we still believe that most people in this country are in the middle and see problems for what they are, like I've just described. And I think a lot of good members in Congress see the same. And we intend to continue working. And we're gonna figure this out, and we're gonna have a solution. But until we have long-term permanent infrastructure down 1,500 miles from our border, where we can do what we're doing on our southern border, we're going to always be dealing with issues on our southern border.
No, you have a lot of good ideas, Congressman, and they bear at least to people just sitting back and reading them, understanding them, because you're right, to get past the political gamesmanship. Gonzalez, the Democratic Texas congressman, and he does have a lot of very good ideas of dealing with it at the